guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions, bit of a different one today. We are making quick and easy tassels for your junk journals. So if you want to make along today, what you're going to need a bunch of different things that you're going to incorporate into your tassels. So you're going to need some lace, some maybe ribbon. I mean, not necessarily need, but these are suggested things. So I've got lace, I've got some ribbons, I've got some sari silk, I've got some baker's twine, I've got some pearly trim, all different things that you could kind of like incorporate into your tassels. Now, I will kind of make a couple of kind of caveats there really to say, if you are using ribbon or if you're using lace, what you want is thinner ribbon or thinner lace. So for example, here, my ribbon is that sort of thin ribbon. Is this like sort of 2mm, would it be classed as? That type of thickness, preferably not too thick. This one is slightly thicker, but it's an organza one, so it's going to be able to squish up easily. Again, with the lace, you're going to want thinner lace if possible. Where I've got this, which is thicker, what I'm going to do is cut it probably actually into thirds, because you're not going to want to bulk your tassels out too much. You know, so that's kind of with that. You're going to want some scissors. And then the other thing that I brought along, actually, sorry, the another thing was some, what do you call this stuff? I've forgotten the name of this. What's this called? Is it eyelash trim? Eyelash trim, which is really nice incorporated in tassels. I struggle to use this, but tassels is the one place where I seem to be able to cope with using it. So that's really nice to use. And then you're going to want some bulb pins, because we're making quick and easy tassels, and this is how we're going to kind of like secure them. So let's get making one of these. Now, I'm going to cut my lace first of all into kind of like size. So I'm thinking approximately kind of like 12 to 14 inches. So let me just kind of work this out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it's just over kind of about 13 inches. And the reason why I'm doing it like that is so that when I've done my tassel, I can kind of like cut it down. So approximately 13 inches. Then what I'm going to do is just trim this down, because I don't want it too bulky. So this is quite a wide lace, just to give you an idea. It's 2 inches in thickness. So I'm thinking this lace probably wants to come down into thirds. So I'm going to take that down into thirds. This is where I've now discovered that I picked a really blunt pair of scissors. So not great. Let me just try a different pair. Okay. So they're not much better. But yeah, this is where I think, you know, if you're intermixing fabric and paper in your scissors, you shouldn't do that apparently. So yeah, I'm assuming that it's the paper obviously that blunts it for the fabric. So then I'm going to cut it into another one, because, you know, I want my lace quite skinny. So, and it doesn't matter that this isn't straight. It doesn't matter that, you know, my edges look appalling, because once this is in a tassel format, you're not really going to notice, to be honest. So, well, we hope. We hope you're not going to notice. Who knows? Okay. Oops. Like that. So I'm just going to go in with 2 bits of lace to start with. Now, I haven't made any of these tassels, I think, since the last time that we made them in the mass making. So it's quite hard to remember, you know, my formula of how many pieces I thought was kind of needed. So we're just going to kind of like play around and do what we think will approximately work. So I'm thinking you probably need like maybe 10 sort of different bits and pieces in here. So just going to put different things in. So we've got like ribbons, 2 different ribbon types there. This one's obviously a little bit sort of creased up, but that's okay. So like that. Now I've also got some sari silk. So this is great for using like offcuts of sari silk, where you've got kind of like skinny bits left over from other things. I've also got here some thin lace in this kind of ivory colour. So this one doesn't need trimming down, because it's already quite skinny. Oops. Already quite skinny. I'm just going to cut that end off, because it's got a dirty mark on there. Okay, like that. And then perhaps we'll have another sari silk strand, and then perhaps we'll have some more lace. So I've got some other lace here as well, so just going to again bring this in Okie dokie. If you haven't got sari silk, then you probably can incorporate like fabric. Yeah, I think probably fabric would work. You know, kind of like just tear it into pretty skinny strips. And then I think you can incorporate fabric into these. So that's an alternative if you haven't got any sari silk. The first time I made these, I didn't have sari silk. So, you know, definitely, you know, they're going to turn out lovely even if you haven't got sari silk. It's definitely not an essential thing that you need. Okay, so put that in there. Maybe we'll have another piece. I've lost count now of how many things that I've put in here. And if you're counting, maybe I've already exceeded the 10 that I said. Oh, possibly 10. Who knows? But this is a great way to use up. You know, like sometimes you get like skinny ribbons. You know, if you've bought like a ribbon pack, you maybe get like skinny ribbon in there. And I don't know about you guys, but then I'm always like, oh, I don't really know how I'm going to use the skinny ribbon. So this is quite a good way to use that type of thing. Just going to like lift that onto there. Okay, move that to there. I think I perhaps need some more sort of pink stuff in here, so I'm just going to put another strand of pink ribbon. Oops, like that. And then I've got this different sort of eyelash trim. I don't know whether this is still called eyelash trim, but it's different sort of texture. So I'm just going to put some of that in there. This is quite nice because it gives a sort of shiny type appearance. It's less flat than other eyelash trim. I don't know really what's the difference, to be honest, but yeah, this one's got a more shiny kind of effect, so it's quite nice. Okay, and then I'm just going to put in a tiny, very skinny ribbon there. Okay. Oops. Like that. Right, do we think that's enough? Okay, let's give that a try and see whether that's enough. Like I say, it's a long time since I've made these, so now I'm like, oh, probably should have done a practice run before I started, but never mind. Let's just go for this. So I'm going to use this here to tie it up. Actually, the only other thing, did I put some baker's twine in? Not sure I did. Yeah, the only other thing that I'm going to add, I'm going to just have a bit of baker's twine. Oh, not that piece. That's just very tiny. Okay, we're going to put that piece in there. Right, so I'm going to take my sari silk, and what I want to do is just knot this kind of in the middle. So I'm going to take it long enough so that this is going to tie round and then go down the sides kind of thing. So it's going to be part of the actual tassel. So I'll take this here, just gauge roughly kind of the middle just by eye, take it in and then just tie it round. Oops, like that. And then I like to tie it in like the other way as well. That does a really nice tight knot. And then I can just take that down there. Then what you want to do is get your bulb pin. Oops. I've been nervous about doing these for some reason because these are sort of outside of my comfort zone. You know, this is something that I find quite fiddly. So, you know, it kind of fills me with dread doing things like this. So I'm just going to thread my bulb pin through there, tie that up, you know, do that up. And then I'm just going to get my tassel. I'm going to take some more sari silk, not sari silk, sorry, the more eyelash trim. And then what I want to do is again taking quite a long piece, tie it round. Now you want to tie it round pretty close to the top. So I always think this looks a bit like, you know, those peg doll things. I don't know really what they are, but yeah, like those, you know, you can get those kind of peg things. They've got like a face on them. Maybe they're like an old-fashioned sort of Victorian type toy. I don't know, but yeah, this reminds me of that because what you're basically doing is making a little kind of round circly type bit there. Tie that up like that. And then tie it in again. So again, I like to just do it back the opposite way because it does make it nice and tight then. So, you know, it's not going to become in, be coming undone. So like that. And that's it. And then you can cut your tassel down. I don't think it hurts to have it all sort of different levels, you know, have strands kind of hanging out. But that's all there is to those. Isn't that just so pretty? And then you can just clip that onto your journals, you know, looks really, really nice. I've seen people do these tassels in other ways. Personally, I don't get on with fiddly things. So this for me is as fiddly as I can kind of handle. But, you know, the method is maybe the simplest method, but it still produces a lovely tassel, doesn't it? So that's one. Right, let's demonstrate that again. Obviously, it's not particularly complicated or anything, but I'm just going to demonstrate it again so that, you know, if you kind of needed a second run through, we'll just do a second run through. So again, taking your lace, and depending on the thickness of your lace, you know, you may need to cut it down. This one is another one that's kind of approximately 2 inches. So I think this needs cutting down into thirds. So I'll just take that down like that. Okay. Oops. Like that. Okay, so got a couple of bits of lace there. Then I'm just going to take perhaps this lace now. Now I have to be honest and say this is quite short. So what I'm going to do is just put the other bits slightly longer. And I don't think that really matters, to be honest, because, you know, you can have a tassel with different level or length bits, can't you? So I think it will still look lovely, even if they're kind of different lengths. So cut that down. Okie dokie. There we go. Pop another one. And then let's do some different colours. So I've got some brown here. So let's do some of this brown ribbon in there. I've got this again, kind of ivory lace. This one's quite thin, so again, doesn't need cutting down at all. Oops. Okie dokie. Let's put some baker's twine. So I've got this kind of beigey colour baker's twine. That's just perfect for this. Okay, and actually now I'm thinking maybe for this one have some actual normal baker's twine, if you see what I mean. I don't know. This might not be baker's twine actually. This might just be twine. So yeah, I'm thinking this might be quite fun in this one. This is a little bit inclined to sort of curl up, or want to sort of curl up. So yeah, I don't know. But I think once it's tied round into the, you know, the whole bulk thing, I think it will then flatten out. So hopefully that will be okay. Just take another, oops, another length of this lace. Oh my goodness. Gets a bit fiddly to cut this once it's getting narrower. Come on. It's just like slipping around on the, I was going to say on the fork, on the, no, not spoon, scissors. Don't know what's going on with my ability to speak now, but yeah. Okay. So take that down onto there. Oh, you know what I forgot to incorporate in that other one? I didn't put any pearly trim in there. So let's have some pearly trim in this one. Yeah. The pearly trim is lovely. Now, it's not essential again, but if you've got some pearly trim, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I then maybe would struggle to use that and not know where to use it. But I've had it, you know, for other things. So that's a really nice thing to sort of be able to put in there. So then I've got this sari silk. So this one is quite wide. So what I could do is tear this down. Oops. Tear this down through the middle. Oh gosh, no, I didn't actually cut into that. Okay, there we go. So tear that down, and then I've got two different strands to put in there. So that one, can just cut that down there, and then yeah, let's have another one. Oops, like that. come on. There we go. Like that. And then, yeah, perhaps I'll have another piece of this. Because I want to sort of ivory this up a little bit. And maybe we'll have another brown strand of the ribbon. Like that. Oh, do you know what? I'm now thinking, let's do a really colourless one, you know, like whites and ivory. Don't know whether I've ever done a completely colourless one before, but yeah, let's give that a try. Right, again, I'm not sure whether this is actually kind of like big enough or whether I'm now kind of making this a bit small. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I may be making these smaller than I have done in the past, but that might be coincidence. Now, my eyelash trim, I don't think I've got any. Let me just check on my shelf and see whether I've got any that's cream coloured. I feel like I have had some cream coloured eyelash trim. Ah, here we go. I thought I did have somewhere. Right, so I've got this one. Okay. Yeah, I've got this eyelash trim, which, let me just take it off of the ring, in this brown colour. Again, I don't know whether this is still classed as eyelash trim. It's this weird sort of like texture, but it's really nice, isn't it? So, sorry, I'm just fidgeting on my chair. I nearly fell off then. I sit on like a kitchen stool and, yeah, I've now got a cushion on it because I was struggling with sitting on it a couple of weeks ago. And I put a cushion on it, and now, of course, it's now making it a bit slippery to sit on, so could end up having an accident on it, to be honest. Right, let's put it like that. Okay, so then we want to gather this in the middle, remember? So I'm going to get this ready. So we get this ready and we're going to gather it roughly in the middle. Oops, this one's a bit tricky because we've got a few things that we're sort of like wanting to bend up, if you see what I mean. So take that round, tie it there, and then again tie it the other way. Okay, snip that off. Like that. Take my bulb pin. There we go. Take my bulb pin through there. Oops, come on. Oh dear. So what you want to try and do is with your bulb pin, actually kind of like thread it through at least one part, because that's what kind of holds it in. If it's not attached anywhere, i.e. if it's all just slid through the bulb pin, it then could just obviously slip out. So try and kind of like hold it, you know, through the actual kind of stuff. So like that, and then we're going to just tie that round. So again, kind of make it quite long because you're going to obviously cut this off, you know, around it. So like that. Oh, come on. I'm going to just do one. Okay. Oh my goodness, come on. Yep. Through there. And then again, I like to go back round, like so it's knotting in the opposite direction. It just produces then a really nice tight knot, so like that. There we go. And then obviously can trim this up. This one's got some different level or different length pieces, but you know, I think that's fine. I don't think it really matters. Just pull those down. There we go. How cute is that? So really, really sweet, aren't they? Okay, so I probably don't need to talk you through really what we're doing now because, you know, it's not that sort of difficult or anything. So what I might do is cut down all my lace first, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut down all my lace. So let's just take a bunch of the lace, cut it down, and then cut it into the thirds. So like that. Oops. Like that. And we can just relax now and have a catch up. So I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope your week started out well. For anybody who watches my channel, you'll know that I film these on a Monday to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So yeah, what's happening here? Well, I don't know what's happened to our heat wave. We were allegedly having a heat wave this week. I mean, I have got no sleeves on, but I'm not that warm. So yeah, I'm hoping the heat wave is still on its way, but so far it's seeming not to be out there. So yeah, I don't know quite what's going on with the heat wave. Right, I'm just going to do some of this bright blue as well, so we've got a few different looks instead of it all just looking really boring. So just take some of this down. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We were supposed to be having this heat wave, but it just seems to have like turned to nothing at the minute. So maybe it is still, you know, yet to happen. I mean, it would be lovely if it did. We've had odd nice days this week. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say heat wave type, you know, standards, but it's been okay. Yeah, I don't know quite where the heat wave is. I mean, I was expecting it to be really hot already today, but no, not so far. So we shall see. What else have I been up to? Well, not a lot, to be honest. Yeah, very boring. Yeah, nothing. I had to go and take some things back for my daughter at the weekend. You know, some clothes and things that we've got for her that then didn't fit her. So we had to go to Primark. We'd been a couple of weeks ago and bought the stuff. So yeah, I had to go and take the stuff back now. So that was on Saturday. Oh, really annoying because the car park, they have changed the parking system unbeknown to me. So of course went into the shops and normally like pay on exit, you know, pay on foot, pay on the exit. And I've come out from the shops and gone to pay, and it then said it's now changed to a pay and display car park where you phone like a number. Very, very, very annoying because you then, well, sorry, no, not phone a number. It was download an app at first. Well, then, of course, I couldn't get a signal. Then I managed to download the app. I mean, we were there for 20 minutes mucking about. And in the end, I still couldn't get the app to work. It just kind of like came up with some sort of blank screen. So not a blank screen, but a frozen picture, you know, on the screen. So that was really, really annoying, I must say. And what's worse, I just suspect I'm going to end up getting a parking ticket now because obviously I didn't then have the thing displayed. But what I ended up doing was I phoned the number and then I thought that I was then paying for my 2 hours parking. So I put in my card details, I put in my car registration number and all of that kind of stuff, put in my card details, and then it came back and it said we were there from like, say, you know, 2:30 till like, you know, 4:10. And it suddenly came up at the end and it said, your parking is all booked. You may now park from 4:10 till 6:10. What? I wasn't wanting to do that. We were leaving at 4:10. So I've got this horrible feeling now that what's going to happen is I'm going to now get a ticket saying that I hadn't paid for the 2 hours that we were there, even though I then paid £3.50 for 2 hours that we weren't going to be there. Honestly, it's so infuriating. I mean, no wonder people are not bothering going to the shops and the shops are all dying, because you can't sort of risk it, because now I'm going to invariably get probably a £70 fine for, you know, not paying my parking. And what's really bad, I did pay it, but I just paid it for 2 hours later because I hadn't realised, you know, what it was doing. Oh, it's so annoying, to be honest. I mean, I barely ever go shopping anymore, to be honest. And I just think, well, that's how I think, you know, it's going, because you don't dare actually go anywhere because you end up getting, you know, a fine. You've either gone into a bus lane or, you know, you've parked and, I don't know, displayed your ticket in the wrong corner of your windscreen or something like that. It's just coming to the point where it's just not really worth going out of your house, you know, and just, yeah, it's really annoying. So, of course, that put me in a foul mood, you know, for the rest of the day. I just thought, oh, I don't believe it. So yeah, really, really annoying. And what was most insulting is the council had the cheek to put up a sign saying, save yourself time, pay on the app. Save yourself time? I was there for literally, you know, 20 minutes trying to get it to take my payment. You know, downloading the app and all of that with no signal. How's that saving anybody time? You know, it didn't save me time. It actually took me 20 minutes. Whereas in the old days, you know, I mean, actually in the very old days, you would have had like a man on the exit of the car park, you know, like in a booth where you just paid then on your way out, you know, and it would have taken you no time whatsoever. But of course, the councils are all so greedy now that they're just wanting to, you know, minimal expenses on their end, i.e. just install a couple of machines, you know, that then they don't have sufficient signal strength for people to actually even download an app or anything. There wasn't, I felt, significant signage to tell me that that's what the parking arrangements now were, so hence I'm just going to get a different pair of scissors. I'm just going to try and use my pinking shears because I'm struggling to cut these. Oh my goodness, this is now not working either. I'm going to have to get a different pair of scissors in a minute. But, yeah, anyway, really annoying. They've not obviously just, you know, made sure that they've got good enough signal strength or anything for people to be downloading the app. And I wasn't the only person who was stood there. There were a couple of other people also stood trying to actually get it to work. So one man, in fact, he'd been stood there before I was there. And then he was stood there after I left. So he was actually there for longer than 20 minutes trying to pay. So, you know, of all the cheek to say, save yourself time, pay on the app. You know, because actually, if you were in a rush, you know, say it was a weekday and you were going, you know, stopped in your lunch hour, say, for, you know, from work, you would have made yourself late back to work then, trying to actually pay on the app. It's just ridiculous, to be honest. I don't know quite what's going on. Anyway. Sorry, that's my moan. I'm very, very moany today, obviously, about things like that. And just, it's getting to the point where you just feel really sick of how things are, really, you know. And I just, yeah, I mean, as for, oh, no, you know, the shops are dying, there's no support for the high street. Well, that's why. That's exactly why. So, right, rant over, anyway. What else have I been up to? Well, on a more positive note. So I came home on Saturday night. Or on Saturday afternoon, perhaps I should say. And then I took Bo across to the park with her ball launcher thing because she'd obviously been in for a couple of hours while my daughter and I were out. My son had been out with his friends, so, you know, Bo had been on her own. So I thought, oh, I'll take her over to the park with her ball launcher. She had a lovely time. So, yeah, she just cheers your heart, to be honest. And, yeah, she had a lovely time. And then I came home and I thought, oh, I know, I'm going to treat myself to The Handmaid's Tale. Because I haven't been keeping track of how long it's been on. And I thought, well, it must be, surely, you know, all the episodes must be up by now. Do you know, it's still not. I think it said episode 7 was about to go up on Sunday night. So, like, last night. So, I couldn't watch that because I didn't want to get into it and then be gutted when I then couldn't actually watch, like, the whole of it. Because I want to binge the whole of season 6. So, yeah, I was gutted, but I did see that it said that it has now finished everywhere else, you know, where it's already been on, which actually, again, seems to be most places. We seem to be the only place that's not had it. So, yeah, if you have watched the whole of season 6 of The Handmaid's Tale, oh my goodness, what was it like? What have I missed? Was it good? Was it worth the wait? Oh, was it disappointing? I mean, to be honest, it possibly felt slightly disappointing watching it, you know, if you watched it kind of week by week. I personally would find that really disappointing. So, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, let me know what you thought. If you are lucky enough to have watched the whole thing, you know, then what did you think? Is it worth the wait, or am I going to be gutted when I watch it anyway? So, yeah, that was that. So, I then looked through and I've started watching Lockerbie. So this is, oh, I think it's called, sorry, it's not called Lockerbie. It's called, oh, it might be called Flight something or other, Pan Am, and then the flight number. I'm watching it on BBC iPlayer, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's on BBC iPlayer. I think it is also on Amazon Prime. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I'm sure that I read somewhere that it's also on Amazon Prime. Now, I'm watching this because my parents had recommended it. You know, my mum and dad had been watching it and said it was good. So, yeah, I'm watching that. Now, I've only watched 1.5 episodes because I was then, you know, by the time I kind of like sat down on Saturday night, it was quite late. So I didn't watch much of it. And then last night, I thought, oh, I'll watch it, you know, last night. Oh, my goodness, I was falling asleep. I had to rewind it 4 times to rewatch the bit that I'd missed 4 times. And then in the end, I thought, well, this is ridiculous. So I just went to sleep then. So, yes, I didn't really get through much of it last night at all. But yeah, it seems quite good. Obviously, it's about the plane that went down in Scotland. I thought it was the early 90s, but I think it said it was 1997 or 1998. So later than I thought, I think. But yeah, very, very sad. And I mean, a lot of people died in that. Obviously, it was a whole plane full of passengers, and a lot of people on the ground died as well because it came down on a residential area, which of course is not dissimilar to the plane that went down in India, you know, last week. So yeah, I mean, that's very, very sad. And of course, you know, send out prayers to anybody, you know, connected with that, either on the ground or on that flight. You know, that's just, again, shocking. And I mean, I haven't seen that much about it, just because I haven't really had that much time to be watching the news. But certainly there are some more shocking images, aren't there, of like where the plane was, you know, sort of sticking out from the building and things. So it looked pretty shocking, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's just horrendous, isn't it, when things like that happen, because you know, it obviously affects so many people, and yeah, just absolutely shocking. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. Still haven't been to the cinema because there's just really nothing on. So yeah, it's all a bit disappointing. I'm just going to trim this down slightly. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to trim this into half. I might find it's a bit too thin, but we'll give it a try. Yeah, it's been disappointing. Haven't really seen anything really that we'd like to watch. So yeah, all a bit gutting. Yeah, that's it. My daughter's finally going on her school trip this week. I know I've been talking about this for absolutely ages. Well, it's the week it's happening. So, yeah, she's going on Wednesday. So she'll be staying Wednesday night, Wednesday night and Thursday night. So coming home on Friday. Yeah, I think she's quite looking forward to it, to be honest. So she's kind of like talking about packing, but not actually packing. So, yeah, she hasn't packed her stuff or anything, but she's talking about it. My son has started his new job today, so that was very exciting. He went to the gym this morning, and normally he has to then shower at the gym and go straight to work from there. So, you know, when he leaves the house at, I don't know, like 7 o'clock or whatever, that's it. He doesn't then come home at all until he's finished work at like, you know, 5 or whatever. But today he went to the gym, you know, at like 6:30 or whatever, and he came, you know, to my bedroom and he just said, "Mum, check me out. Look at me going to the gym." He had no bag with him or anything like that, so he didn't have to take all his stuff for the day, because of course he was then going to come back home and be able to shower, because he's going in the opposite direction now, and it's only actually about an 8-minute drive from our house. So it's going to be like life-changing for him, because where he worked previously, it was about probably, I think it's about 25 minutes. It's probably like not that many miles, but it was a traffic-y journey, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, this is going to be life-changing for him, because it's obviously going to be so much quicker, and it's so much closer to home. So, you know, maybe when he gets in the swing of it, he could sometimes come home at lunchtime and things like that. So, yeah, absolutely life-changing for him. So he's starting that today. I hope he's getting on really, really well. I'm sure that he will be doing. You know, he is lovely. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but yeah, he's a lovely lad. So I'm sure that he's getting on well there, and everyone will think he's, you know, he's lovely. So yeah, I hope he's having a nice day. That's kind of it really. So, oh, yesterday was Father's Day over here in the UK. So went to my mum and dad's, you know, to see my dad obviously on Father's Day. and Natalie was there with her son. I obviously went with my daughter. My son was out. He had a date yesterday, so he was out yesterday. Yeah, so we had quite a nice time. Again, it was strange because it was supposed to be this heat wave, but not really a heat wave. It was quite windy in their garden, so we didn't really sit out. But Natalie was so lovely. So she treated everybody to a pizza from Papa John's. Now, I've never had a pizza from Papa John's before, but I big time love pizza. You know, pizza is one of my kind of like favourite foods. So, yeah, she treated everybody to pizza from Papa John's. So that was absolutely lovely. And, yeah, had a really nice time then, you know, with my mum and dad and stuff and my daughter. So that was really nice. And we must have got there at like 3 o'clock or something. And the Papa John's is quite near where I live. So I just kind of like picked it up on my way down to see them. And, yeah, we all then had lunch, you know, at their house. And then they had some s'mores, you know, s'mores, you know, the s'mores things like over the fire. So, yeah, they had some of those. So my dad has got like a new tabletop fire pit. So they had those, which, you know, they all really liked. I didn't have those and my mum didn't have them. But everyone else kind of had some. So, yeah, I think they quite liked that and had a nice time. So, yeah, that was a really nice afternoon. And that's probably all I've been up to, if I'm honest. I can't think of anything else worth talking about. It's all been very, very boring. Yeah, nothing interesting whatsoever going on. Just trying to think whether, have I watched anything else remotely worth mentioning? Do you know, I can't even think that I've even watched anything else, to be honest, let alone worth mentioning. I'm just going to swap this because I've got this other pearly trim, but this one's got sort of like oval shaped pearly bits. So I thought this one would look really nice on here. Okie dokie. Yeah, I think the pearly trim gives these a really nice extra sort of added thing, doesn't it? So yeah, I do like using the pearly trim. Now I've got here this blue, but I'm not sure whether this blue is actually in with the yellow. So let's just take some off here. Oh, I think, oh no, yeah. Okay, so it is in with the yellow, but there's quite a long stretch between the yellow, if that makes sense. So I can definitely have room to have that before it goes into the yellow. There we go. Oh, and I just want to say a massive thank you to anybody who made a purchase last week. So, yep, I did the flip through of the journal and the folio. Unfortunately, I only had time to show, I think, the journal and the folio. So there's still actually 2 folios left in my shop at the moment. So if you were looking for one, there are still two folios available. Are there 2? Yeah, I think there's 2 available. So yeah, if you wanted to kind of like head over and have a look, they are still available on my website. But thank you so much to anyone who did purchase a folio, and thank you so much to anyone who's purchased anything, oops, on my Etsy shop as well. I really, really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. You know, and I really hope that you love anything that you might have purchased. Oops. There we go. I've got an idea for a new series, so I'm going to be filming that. So yeah, that will be sort of in the pipeline. Just going to put some ivory type stuff in here as well. Right, that's probably enough for this one. Now with that eyelash trim, I'm just going to have to be careful that I don't end up with the yellow. So I'm going to have to sort of like unthread it a bit and use the blue section, not the yellow section. So yeah, let's tear that off. Not tear it, but you know, move it down. So I'll just cut off the yellow. Won't throw that away because I'll use that for something else. Okay, right, so we can tie this round in the middle. Whoops. Oh, come on. Okay. Tie it around like that. Oh, so it's coming up to the time where we're going to have to move out of our house, you know, for that renting it out that we do. So yeah, we've got a couple of weeks. So yeah, we have been lucky enough to book a holiday over that period. So because obviously we're going to have to move out of our house, and you know, normally we have to kind of like pay someone, you know, we stay kind of generally with people we know, but obviously I do still pay them. So my son said, let's go on holiday like over that time. So yeah, we're going to go on holiday. So it's my son, my daughter and myself. We're going to go on holiday whilst we're renting our house out. So yeah, we can't wait to do that. So that is in 2 weeks time? 3 weeks time. Yeah, 3 weeks time. So honestly, cannot wait. It's been, yeah, a long year so far. So yeah, can't wait to go on holiday now. Honestly, just really, really needing a holiday. So yeah. Okie dokie. So we're going on a cruise. We are not having a balcony cabin this time. So yeah, we're going on one of like the lower decks. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. But you know, I'm sure we're going to have a lovely time. So yeah, it's just going to the Mediterranean, and yeah, we're going to have a nice time. So can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. Okay. I think it is very hot, you know, abroad at the moment, because I think I said before that, you know, my family had been on holiday like for somebody's wedding, and they went to Kos, and I think it was like kind of, I think they said it was 35 degrees or something. I mean, it was phenomenally hot, you know, which seemed like it was abnormally hot or unusually hot for this time of year. So yeah, I think kind of places are extremely hot at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I hope it's going to be hot, although you know what I'm like, I will probably be then complaining that it's too hot. So yep, can never get it quite right. So I'm a bit like the Goldilocks thing, you know, I want it hot, and then it's suddenly, it's like, oh my goodness, this is too hot, I can't cope. So yeah, but oh, I can't wait. Honestly, it just kind of yeah, it's come to that point where it's like, oh, really need a holiday. So yeah, and obviously the best thing is, because we're going on a cruise, I'll be able to take some stuff with me, you know, so I can be still crafting on holiday. So I need to give it some thought for the types of things that I'm going to take with me. I mean, funnily enough, sometimes when I've been on holiday, I actually kind of then come up with some new things and make some different things. So hopefully it will be one of those situations where I'll sort of end up making some different things to normal. I mean, there's no no guarantee, but yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, come up with some new ideas. So that would be awesome. Right, I'm just mixing in some different colours. Oh, that's such a shame, isn't it? I don't know why I bought that in. I thought that would be long enough to go in here, but it's not. Yeah, what a shame. Okay. Probably got some more purple. Oh, I can see some already on the floor. Oh, it's so lucky, isn't it, when you're a messy crafter and you have stuff on the floor that you can just pull in. It works out very handy. Yeah, okay. Oops. Just take that down. Not sure whether this one's going to tear in half because it's quite thready. Oh, it has. Oh, just got caught at the end. There we go. Anyway, so we've got that huge cleanup operation coming up. So yeah, although I can't wait for the holiday, I'm not overly looking forward to the whole cleaning malarkey, because that's just a lot of work, to be honest. But hey, you know, it's fine. So yeah, I mean, it's a long way towards paying for our holiday. So yeah, it's a good thing to do. And then we are renting it out again in September. So, you know, we've got the two occasions that we'll be renting it out. So I'm sure that will be here before we know it as well, you know. But, you know, I mean, it is worth it. But yeah, my gosh, it is probably my worst time of the year. You know, that whole cleaning thing. It's just, yeah, so much work. You know. But, well, we've tried to be a little bit better and keep on top of, you know, our mess. Let's be honest about it. Try and, like, you know, not leave it so messy everywhere and things. So who knows whether we will actually, you know, get through that and not be too messy. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, but definitely, you know, it's well worth doing. So my daughter's already kind of moaning about it, because what will happen is, like, what I did last year, I cleared up her room the weekend before. Her room and, like, the living room and stuff. And then we just literally, you know, we weren't allowed in there. She had to just hang out in my bedroom for the whole week before we, you know, before it. And my son obviously hung out in his bedroom. So it was like, you know, nobody go anywhere, nobody go anywhere. And of course, you know, she obviously didn't really like that. I mean, fair enough, you know, of course she wouldn't like that. But, yeah. So she's already like, oh, what? You know, is it that time already? But it's like, well, yes, it is that time already. But hey, you know, you will like going on holiday, won't you? So, you know. And obviously she will like going on holiday. But yeah, she's like, oh, what? You know, it's that time. But yeah. I mean, hers is the messy room, to be honest. Well, and my craft room, but of course we don't, you know, we don't rent my craft room out. That's shut. You know, nobody goes into there. So, yeah. Because, you know, I mean, obviously there would be no point having that open. It's not like we could get a bed in here or anything like that, you know. So, yeah, that will be just a closed door type situation. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to that whole cleanup. So that's literally, well, we'll probably start cleaning a little bit. Whoops. Oops, sorry. We'll probably start cleaning a bit like next week. So probably, yeah, probably at the weekend, to be honest. You know, like start cleaning things like clean the cooker and all of that kind of stuff. And then we're going to be like, no cooking, you know, no using the cooker. You just have to use the air fryer and the microwave if you want anything, you know. Hopefully just have like cold stuff, you know, sandwiches and things. Yeah, so we'll be doing that. And then, yeah. Okay. So, oh, I think my son's come home. So, yeah, we shall see. But, yeah, that's going to be going on. Right, there we go. And just tie that around. So shall I use the purple again, or should I use, oh, it's in and out, or shall I use the pink? I'm not sure, but let's just tie this around here. Don't seem to be doing many different colours, do I here? It's yeah, I don't know how many I did when I made this video last time, you know, when we did this last time. I don't feel like I'm making many this week. Maybe I've just been too busy chatting, I don't know. But yeah. But they're fun to make, aren't they? You know, like I say, they're a bit outside of my comfort zone. So, you know, they're fun to have, really, for me, rather than fun to make. But they definitely are, oops, they definitely are nice to have. Oh dear, sorry, no. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I like this pink and lilac one. Oh, I've not tied that very tight. I'm going to put another round there, so I might do this pink stuff. Yeah, maybe we'll do that, because I've noticed now it's not very tight. So, I mean, not that I think it would come undone, but equally, you know, I don't want it as loose as that. Oops, like that. I mean, to be honest, just the cutting down the lace takes quite a while. So, oh gosh, I'm tying this obviously too tight, and now it's yeah, keeps snapping. Oh well, that's okay. There we go. So yeah, need to trim this one down because it's very kind of like scrappy at the bottom, which I know I said I didn't mind them being too jaggedy, but that one looked ridiculous. So yeah, just trim it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's that one. Right, let's do a creamy or a, you know, beige and black type one, shall we? So yeah, let's do this. Okay, I might put a couple of strands of the twine in this one. Oops, like that. Some of the brown check ribbon, I think. Okay. Oops. Like that. Oh, just about had enough to do a second row of that. Another black. That's weird. I thought I had more of this colour ribbon. I'm going to have to cut some more down. Oh, how annoying is that? Thought I'd cut all of the ribbon that I needed, but no. So let's just take the sari silk, cut that down. Yeah, the weather, it actually looks really windy outside and not particularly nice at all. Don't know what's gone on with the so-called heat wave. Clearly not today. Not today. Wow, how rubbish. Okay. Put some of this black baker's twine in here. It's quite nice, isn't it? Put some more in, I think. I'm actually tempted on this one to put in some of this. Oh no. Well, I don't know actually. Kind of a nice contrast, isn't it? But yeah, perhaps. Because when I come to use it, I then will think, oh no, that's too out there. You know, it doesn't kind of match the journal. So yeah, probably best not to. But there was a temptation to want to do that. Let's put some more black lace in. And then actually I've got this beigey colour ribbon. Let's put that down. Oops. Like that. Okay. And oh, that is so annoying. I honestly thought that I had more of the you know, that other colour. Don't know why I haven't. Very, very, very annoying. I mean, I can cut some more, but it was just that I thought that I'd done it in the assembly line, you know, so it was all prepped and done. And now, of course, I've now got to now cut a bit more ribbons, a bit more lace. So let's just take this down here. I'll just do one length of this. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay, and then do the pearly trim. I think the other pearly trim. Oh, now I can't see that. What did I do with that? Oh, perhaps we've used all the circle pearly trim, have we? Oh, I also had this ribbon which I'd missed using. Let's put some of this in here. It's very pretty, isn't it? Yeah, that looks gorgeous. Let's put another row of that. Because it's just got, oh look, it's too short. Oh well, that's fine. I can still use that, you know, it's still fine. Yeah, let's just have this now. Okay. Now, what have I done with that brown? Okay. So, yeah, pop this under here. Oops. Okay. It was the purple. Was it the purple eyelash trim that I kind of kept snapping? I hope I don't snap this one now. Obviously, like, super strong today. Super strong with the snapping of the eyelash trim. Oops. Oh no, what's going on with my doing this up in a knot? Not good. Okay, and then we'll just fold this down. Then pop the bulb pin in. Oops. Oh no. Oh no. Looks like that. Okay, oops. There we go. Because you just want to, like I say, capture it through there somewhere, so it's sort of like keeping it all together. So like that. And then just tie it round here at the top. Oops, come on. Oh my goodness, what is going on with me? I'm all fingers and thumbs. This is why I was dreading doing this video. Yeah, because it's not really my type of thing. They're quite sort of, they're a bit fiddly for me. But I do like having them. So, you know, whilst they're fiddly, they're worth it. So yeah, sometimes you've got to persevere, haven't you, to get like the bits that you want. Okay. Just pull all those ends down. Okay. Take that down and yeah, just trim out one or two bits. There we go. Oh, aren't they lovely? I've got to be honest and say I think normally when I trim these down, I just trim them straight across. Today I feel like I'm doing them more tatty and kind of uneven at the bottom, but actually I have to say I actually think I prefer them a little bit more kind of raggedy. I think it's, you know, it's looking kind of really, really pretty. So yeah, I'm going to have to go back to the video and check. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting around on my stool again. I'm going to have to go back to the video and check whether I do normally do them, you know, kind of more raggedy or not really, but yeah, I feel like maybe I do. Okay, let's put some other ones down. So I've got some of that lovely sari silk that I just love this colour. Oops, oops. Big sort of like a hairball or a fur ball, whatever those things are called. Okay. Oh, that needs to be longer because yeah. That one, and then I've got some of this green ribbon. So yeah, let's have some of these like really lovely colours together. They look really pretty, don't they? Okie dokie. And I've just got the ribbon here. Oops. Oh, what's going on with my ribbon? It's now like tied up and everything. Oops. There we go. Take that down there. I will put some more sari silk in this one as well. And actually, I'm just wondering whether I want to put some of that ivory colour on this as well. So, oops, put that down there, like that. And then, yeah, I think, let's do, should we do a bit of ivory sari silk and a bit of this? This is a lovely colour lace, isn't it? Really, really pretty. Yeah, I love it. Oops. Oh, come on. No. No. Right. Like that. And then for the baker's twine, do we want to have this green or shall we have some like beige? Oh, let's have the green, I think. Yeah, that looks sort of really pretty, doesn't it? Like that combination. Okay, And then, yeah, should we have some ivory sari silk in this? What do we think? Yeah, I think we do want some ivory. So again, just snip that down. And then again, just going to tear this in half. Oh, I'm feeling really starving today for some reason. Trying to be really healthy, having my smoothies, but I don't know why it is that sometimes, you know, you really feel like for a long time and other times just starving, you know, really early on. Just going to mix it with some of this green lace as well, actually, because that's then a nice, you know, it's quite nice having those contrasting colours, isn't it? So yeah, maybe like that. And then this is annoying because I've now run out of the pearly trim, which I really, really love the pearly trim. Sorry, has my phone just slipped? I feel like my phone just slipped down then. It's weird, wasn't it? Yeah, have I got that ivory eyelash trim? Did I have ivory eyelash trim in the end? Got this here. I'm so sorry. What's going on with my tripod thing? So sorry about that. Right. Silently moving, that is. You know, that I'm then not even noticing it. So sorry. Don't know why it's doing that. Obviously something suddenly needs tightening up. I don't know why it would suddenly need tightening up, but it's annoying, isn't it? Okay. And then, yeah, let's just, oops, pop another bulb pin here. Okay, this is probably the last one now. I can't really see how long we've been filming for, but I'm pretty sure it's quite a while. So let's just take that through there. Oops. Come on. Right, there we go. There we go. And then just see if I've got any more of the ivory. I don't think I have. That's annoying. Right, okay, so I haven't really ever done this before, but what I might do is try a little bit of sari silk around here to tie it. Now, I don't know whether this is going to be too bulky and look rubbish, but let's give it a try. Actually, I think what we'll do is we will tear this in half so it's half thickness, because it's definitely going to look very ugly and bulky like that, isn't it? So yeah, let's try this. Okie doke. So hold that down. Okay. And then just, yeah, tie this up. Okay, oops. Tie that up. And then again, just tie that in the other way. Like that. Okay, well, it looks okay. I mean, in an ideal world, I would have done that probably with the, you know, eyelash trim still, but I don't mind it, to be honest. It looks fine. So I'm just going to trim it up at the bottom like that. Again, this one's quite sort of raggedy at the bottom, but, you know, I don't dislike that. So, yeah, that's that one. So they will look so pretty just on your spines of your journals, or, you know, on the edge of the journal, anywhere really. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've done. Oh, would you believe that my camera battery just ran out? So I've had to now charge it up before I could come back and tell you. So yes, we have done 6. So not too bad, I think, really. We've done quite well. So yeah, let me know which one is your favourite. Sorry, I've got something now dragging around, a thread from some sari silk. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm very drawn to this one. I do really like it with the black and the ivory. So yeah. Oh, I think my camera thing is still slipping around. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, I really like the black and ivory, to be honest. I think that might be my favourite. I'm also quite partial to this blue one. So yeah, let me know which one you think is your favourite, and yeah, I hope that you have fun making some of these. Yeah, I hope that everybody has a nice few days. Really love to hear your comments below of you know, what you think to these. If you've watched The Handmaid's Tale right the way through, let me know. If you're watching it in the UK, being drip fed, how are you finding that, you know, all of that good stuff. So yeah, really appreciate a big thumbs up to this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, En. Bye.